Salutations, Swag Cup, and welcome back to yet another installment of Ronin Radio. We close the chapter on one more whack-ass week of football, and we appear to remain very close in terms of rankings, with Gabs leading the pack with her 6-1 record, while I bring up the rear at 2-4. I'm trying not to take it too personally, as I usually struggle the first half of the season before re-emerging as a serious threat going into the playoff push, although the last couple of seasons I've fallen off in a serious way coming into the playoffs. But I have a good feeling about this year. The one silver lining to being in last place and on a losing streak is that I get waiver priority 1. Meaning no one will stand in my way as I scoop Amari Cooper up off the waiver wire this week. I'm sure you saw the day he had. Over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. While I'm sure he won't repeat that feat, at the very least, it means that Oakland is getting serious about getting him more involved after he went on a multi-game slump. Hopefully, this rejuvenated Cooper, plus my other pieces not currently on a bye, will help propel me to where I need to be. Anyways, as I said, this past week was marred in close contests, including my posthumously dubbed
Game of the Week,
Tank v. Gabe. Now, I designated this one the GOTW because it seemed so certain that Gabe was going to lose after Carson Palmer broke his arm on a play that resulted in an interception. I mean, how much bad luck can you have? I felt awful until Gabe reassured me that he had already submitted his waiver for Palmer before my recommendation. Coincidentally, he mentioned that the only way he could win would be if Jordan Reed blew up. Monday night's game featured both their tight ends, and holy shit, Reed did indeed blow up. It was so close. So close. He needed 6 points, 1 more TD, or just 3 catches that totaled 30 yards would have brought him in and sealed it, even with a sub 10-point game from his QB. Otherwise, Gabe's team performed superbly. Although, bro, it may be time to drop Randall Cobb. He wasn't really having a season with A.A. Raj under center, and his case damn sure is not helped with Brett Hundley being there. Although Aaron Jones's value skyrocketed. Glad I missed the mark on that one. I was rooting for Gabe though because I love a good underdog story, but oh well, bro, there's always next week. I won't advise you from here, Gabe, because you know what you're doing. Tank, don't be discouraged about AP's performance this past week, as there was a lot going on there with Carson going down. Look to him to return to form after a bye week where the Cards will get him up to speed on the playbook and build a better game plan to accommodate backup quarterback Drew Stanton. I.e., they gon' run it. Current league leader Gabby made short work of Chris Smith. I have no helpful words for you here, Chris. Even the points of Latavius Murray on your bench would not have helped you in this one. Not with Zeke going off for almost 150 yards and 2 scores on the ground, as well as 72 yards and an additional score in the air. And of course, Breezy. Absurdly enough, Zeke and his lawyers continue to play cat and mouse with the judge in the NFL, allowing him to continue playing, which is really lucky for you, Gabs, but it certainly is not too early to start thinking about life without Zeke. Or else that suspension will likely land at the worst possible time for both the Cowboys and you. With that loss, Chris Smith and I continue to battle for last place, which reminds me a lot of a poker game a few of us played with Tone's old man. You guys remember that, right? They joked that Grant and I were in a race to see who would make it to the couch first. I believe Ryan almost went the distance in that game, falling just short of the last player at the table. I still find myself in the same position as that day, trying not to be the first one to leave the table. Speaking of Ryan though, I think the hipsters had their quietest day of the season with only 3 players breaking 10 points. Among them, of course, Alex Smith, whom continues to plead his case of
I deserve a job.
So keep starting him. Surprisingly quiet considering who some of those people are, like Gronk, Melvin Gordon, but I'm sure a turnaround is just on the horizon. Tone, you had a solid day. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, though, because, you're facing me next week. And finally, my own solid day was scrubbed out by exceptional outings by McHale's Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill, and the Jags defense. There was a last-ditch effort that could have saved my game, and Lord knows my kicker did his part. He appears to be the most consistent member of my squad. Chris Thompson was on his way to possibly keeping me in the game before injuring his toe. Terrible fate. Like most failed weeks, the loss can usually be traced back to one particular choice. In my case this week, Aaron Jones. I even knew that he would get more work following his usurping Ty Montgomery as the lead rusher and then having Brett Hundley take over as the not nearly as effective quarterback. Dropped the ball on that one, and now he goes into a bye week. Whatever. We'll get on into next week. Gabe joked with me that if there was a QB that I'd like injured, that he'll pick him up. While I appreciated the offer, Gabe, it turns out that particular quarterback did get hurt. Jay Cutler successfully led Miami's offense to 2 scores before going down with a chest injury they believed to be a couple cracked ribs. This forced backup Matt Moore onto the field, who essentially photocopied Cutler's performance, with the exception that he threw down the field more and added some fire to the offense, which in turn led to a comeback victory that had everybody amped, effectively proving that we could have saved the money we spent on Cutler and still gotten the same, if not better, results. We could have gotten more arm talent instead of dicking around this whole time. Instead of trying to find the next Matt Moore to back up Tanny, we need to accept that Tanny is the next Matt Moore and start searching for our actual franchise QB. But what the hell do I know? Now, hey you guys, I can't help but notice that viewership is
Way down.
I don't know what all caused this, but I'll be reaching out to inquire because it is a little concerning. The numbers indicate that even of the people whose numbers I have to send it to them, not even all of them are watching. Which means for sure the people whose numbers I don't have are not. I hope there isn't any ill will or bad blood. I would hope we could talk about it. I'm hoping to be down this holiday season. I'm trying for the Friendsgiving celebration, if not Thanksgiving or Christmas. Speaking of, I don't know what y'all intend to do for Xmas, but I'm likely still getting everyone gifts because I've had Ryan since last Christmas. And of course, I was hoping at some point to get the lot of y'all up here to check out Jayville, meet my dog with the lightning bolt tail, and see how we livin'. Anyways, here's our tale of the tape for next week. So set your lineups and start slow sipping your favorite adult beverage, and we'll see you next time right here on Ronin Radio.